What's happening, people? And once again, welcome back to youtube.com/CubCamTV for this, another edition of Cub Reacts on a Thursday evening, Friday morning. Fireboy DML's album has literally just landed this second, and I'm so excited to get into this. We're going to jump into a track that I'm highly anticipating. Fireboy DML and Chris Brown with Diana featuring Shenseea. We're spanning three different sounds entirely here. R&B with Chris Brown, obviously Afrobeats with Fireboy DML, and a more dancehall influenced direction from Shenseea. I'm so excited for this, but two things before we jump into it. The odds are this is a video that's going to have to be chopped down significantly. It always seems to be the way when big albums drop, and alongside that, this is a 3-minute 52-second tune. Anything that's over 3:30, we do risk going into that kind of bracket that needs to be chopped down, or the video will be blocked. So if it is, that is why. My apologies. There's no other way to get it online if that is the case. Alongside this as well, I'll be slightly quieter than normal, purely because it is midnight here in the UK, and obviously I don't want to wake up the neighbours, so do be aware that's what's going on. However, I'm excited to get into it. It's an official visualizer, so let's jump into it right about now. Make sure you are hitting that subscribe button on the right hand side of the page, turning notifications on, of course, leaving a like, leaving a comment, and all of that good stuff, and let's see how this one sounds. I am very, very excited. The first track off Fireboy's Playboy album. Let's go. Already like how clean the visualizer is.
Mommy, don't leave me, go Dubai. You're the one I want. Can do this on my own.
Interesting start on this one, jumping straight in with Chris Brown on the vocal. And I'm noticing this with a lot of Chris Brown stuff when he gets involved in this kind of sound. He does tend to be quite like a leading force. Like, he doesn't sit back. He jumps straight into it a lot of the time and actually plays quite a prominent role on the majority of the tunes. Now, obviously, there's a slight misinterpretation, I feel, because the track is titled Fireboy DML and Chris Brown, Diana feat Shenseea, but the visualizer says featuring Chris Brown and Shenseea. So I don't know if anyone's going to play a more prominent role. Let's see how it goes. Sounding clean, though.
Oh, yeah. Buy you anything you like. Roses and diamonds. You're the one I want. Oh, nah, nah, yeah. Girl, I need you to decide if that make them jealous of you. Now you, I want God up on you. Hey, and I need you to be mine if that make them jealous of you.
Nice use of distant saxophone on this one as well. The fact it only pops in for a second, really, really good. It kind of whets your appetite for more sort of melodies to come in later on. The opening sort of section of this, quite a stripped back melody-wise, a lot of reverb going along, a lot of use of kind of pads and kind of quite kind of softened sub-bass textures going on as well. The overall composition of this one has just quite like a floaty kind of feel, and it sounds good. Chris Brown's absolutely killed the intro. I'm going to be really interested to see more than anything else how both Fireboy DML and Shenseea approach the rest of this one.
I go color for you. Diana. Diana. Please don't leave Diana. Diana. She let me go so far, Bena. I beg her. Please don't leave Diana.
It's catchy, man.
Diana. Oh,
Utilizing those vocal tones, man, that's what they need to do. There are three very accomplished vocalists on this tune. To a point where I'd actually say potentially Fireboy has like the least, I want to say, wide vocal range. We know Shenseea has an incredible vocal range when she wants to use it, and Chris Brown obviously has one of the most seasoned voices in R&B. But I'm loving the fact that it's so floaty. It's so kind of harmonic. It's so focused on that idea of utilizing a vocal and taking it somewhere else. This sounds great so far, man. Really, really cool. This one sounds great. Let's go.
yeah. Don't you leave Diana.
Saxophone in the right ear.
Cross any nigga, we cross my lane.
Huh?
So many girls waiting on my case.
Huh?
So many girls putting on my taste.
Cool verse already.
Call my name. Your pain is my pain.
What I'm liking about this, it's all about showing off that vocal ability right from the jump, and it sounds fantastic. Fireboy really holding his weight from the jump on this one, utilizing the backing vocals really well, utilizing his actual range really well as well. This is an instrumental that actually plays quite nicely into Fireboy's hands. I feel just the kind of lack of any kind of crazy melody running throughout the middle allows him to kind of go a little bit wild with his vocal line, and obviously we know that's something that Chris Brown's going to do anyway, so it ties in really nicely together. And then on top of that as as well, just the overall feel of the tune just has a very warm texture, very floaty, very like padded. It feels like you're being surrounded by like really nicely arranged clouds as you're listening through. Really, really clean.
I'm falling again and again. Can I get so pretty? Say you wanna dance with me? Better wanna go mucho. Better wanna go mucho.
That's one of them shoulder moves.
Say you wanna dance with me? Better wanna go mucho. Say you wanna go mucho. Diana. Diana.
Woo! Get into that little catchy riff there. Diana. Diana. Oh, so cool, man. Again, I like the fact everyone's doing the sort of pre-hook themselves as well. Hopefully Shenseea does that as well. I've got to say, I'm a massive fan of Shenseea, so I'm really hoping she holds up to both of these two because they've both absolutely killed it across the introduction. I love how floaty this is, and I like the fact that Fireboy has been kind of I'm trying to say unmistakably Fireboy. Like, we've heard those little catchy riffs that we know he's really good at doing. We've heard the kind of delicacy of his vocal come into play with this one. Really, really well done, man. Again, it's a great conversation between the producers behind the instrumental and, of course, the vocalist to just get it to that place that works for everyone. Really, really difficult to do.
Please don't leave Diana. Diana. She might be cause of Abena. Abena. Please don't leave Diana.
You get a girl like a me. This your pum pum high quality. UFO, me not ordinary. And that's why you want to have me from sun up.
You know when people enter a tune, sometimes you have to enter in and everything has to stop and you have to go, I'm here. This was one of the smoother entries I've heard from Shenseea. Obviously, she comes from a very sort of dancehall-driven background. She is normally all about impact. That was quite like a smooth transition for a Shenseea tune. And to be honest with you, I feel this type of instrumental actually warrants the smoothness in transition rather than the kind of impact, rather than the kind of one drop that you would expect to hear. Again, hearing the more sort of rap side of vocals to begin with her, which we know she's very accomplished at. Now it seems like we're going into a more sort of harmonic-led vocal. Let's see where we go.
Figure when it's done up. We only on the same time when we fuck up. Those stars too much bright, so we buck up. Me, I forget my way from you. I need you to know I'm the one that you can't lose. Hold it down with your 10 toes. If you don't want me to go, I need you to know. Come first like an intro.
Something really common that's running throughout this tune as a kind of general theme is just how clean the reverbs are. Again, it's very difficult to make a reverb sound super clean when the backdrop is almost entirely made up of reverbs. It's almost like we're listening to things that have already happened in the background. That's what it sounds like. You're hearing one little stab, and that will last for a whole bar. And the little stab is like a kind of synth pad, just kind of going doo. Woo, and that will just last the rest of the bar. So again, really, really good use of reverb running throughout this one so far. Yeah, the triplet, let's go.
She let me go so far, Abena. Please don't leave Diana.
I'm loving the fact that we've got all three of them going together on this because it just pulls the tune together. Sometimes this is something that you want to happen that never does, but the way their three vocals actually all stack up next to each other, you've kind of got Fireboy at the bottom, I'd say, Chris Brown in the mid, and then Shenseea at the higher range. Their vocals sit very cleanly together. They almost tie together really nicely, and you end up with this really nicely meshed set of vocals that doesn't have much phasing going on. It just has a very natural sounding human harmony, which sounds great. I'm loving this, the fact we've got different kind of vocal melodies going on in the background and kind of exploding all the way through. Crazy. What a link up this is as well. What a link up between three different international sounds.
She let me go so far, Abena. Please don't leave Diana. Diana. Don't you leave Diana.
I'm so happy that this didn't flop as a tune, because I've been looking forward to seeing Shenseea in this space for ages. We know what Chris Brown can do in this space. He's popping up on everyone's album. It's almost been normalised that Chris Brown is an international feature you go for at this point, within this sound in particular. But I'm impressed with Shenseea's verse, and I'm really impressed with Fireboy, man. I think all three of them absolutely killed this. And again, the transition between their vocals, I can understand why people wouldn't necessarily gravitate towards this purely because it is moderately safe. Like, they're not necessarily, like they're not reinventing the wheel as we're listening through this. But there's not really much about it to dislike, you know? It's just a very smooth, very well put together combination of vocals. And again, whoever's involved on the A&R side of things, the fact they've managed to stack all three of those vocals up and they sound as clean as they do, genius. So, we'll let the final 7 seconds play out and then we'll give it our final breakdown. But there we go, crazy. There we go. Fireboy DML alongside Chris Brown and Shenseea with Diana. Catchy tune, man. This one's going to do well in the dances, it's going to do well in the clubs, it's going to do well on radio as well. And just in general for kind of sync, that kind of, they've added so many sections to it, that kind of Diana, that little bit there, super catchy. Again, the more sort of the more sort of just general vocally kind of mesh that follows that, great. All three of their verses individually stand very strong, and Fireboy holds his own against two very well established international collaborators. So there we go. What more could you want? What a great way to introduce the album as well. I very much enjoyed this one, but I'm keen to hear your thoughts, so let me know in the comment section down below which verse do you enjoy the most. Is this a collab you'd like to see happen again? Who else would you like to see Fireboy kind of getting involved with from the dancehall side of things? Let us know all your thoughts in the comment section down below. And again, apologies for the amount of conversation and the amount we've had to pause this one. If we've had to chop it down even further, I apologise. It's only like that because otherwise we wouldn't be able to get it online. It's that simple. Hopefully we don't have to chop it down though. We'll see. But there we go. Hopefully you have enjoyed. Make sure you are getting involved by hitting that subscribe button on the right hand side of the page, turning notifications on, of course, leaving a like, leaving a comment, and all of that good stuff. We shall see you all next time, my friends. Have a good one and peace.
Sounding so good right now. But they're sounding a bright and town.
Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel right now, CUBREACTS TV. Stay locked.